How's it going, everybody? I am Donut. I am here with my fiance, or my kitty.
Thermite. It's over
This,
here. Yep, that's me.
this is, of course, a Black Lives Matter, Holocaust of Bastards, and trans rights supporting channel. If you're not supporting that shit, get the fuck off this channel. Now, we're trying to record this. If you have not seen my video updating the situation or anything like that, going through a lot of medical trauma and complications that are going to last a long time. Still trying to get those fixed and everything like that. Still in a lot of, it's pain roulette. Every day it's something fucking different. I got a lot of different shit going on. Mainly, I am missing a tooth because I broke a tooth and a whole complicated thing happened where I had to get it pulled and it's right in the fucking front and I can't get a bridge yet or anything like that. So, talking is a little bit difficult right now for various reasons. Not even just because of that. I got huge sinus problems. I got holes in my head. It's fucking crazy. So, I'm trying to push through this and trying to talk normally, which I can if I try to sometimes, but it's also so hard because I'm so used to talking a certain way for 2 months now that it's hard for me to remember how to talk.
Yeah.
So if I'm moving my mouth around a lot and doing weird, gross stuff with my mouth, I apologize. I have to at times. And again, I'm going to talk in this weird way where it sounds like my mouth is numb, and that's just because it's hard for me to remember how to talk normally. And when I get excited, I end up talking normally a lot of times. But when it's on my mind, it's hard not to. So I got to preface that with, like, sorry for the way I'm talking, the way I hold my mouth, where I barely even move my upper lip. It's hard to, like, laugh and smile a lot, which sucks. So I hope that my enthusiasm comes through. I really want to watch this shit. I really want to watch my MCU and get to all the future stuff as well. And so, gonna try and push through to do this. I'm sorry if this is not the peak of what it could be, but gotta do it. Gotta do it.
Yeah, it is what it is. It's still going to be a really fun time. Still really, really looking forward to this.
So, this is Falcon and the Winter Soldier. This is episode 1, A New World Order. So,
oh boy.
Right off the bat, I assume it's going to be New World Order is real. It's not a conspiracy theory, and they got to deal with it.
Yeah.
I think something we talked about before is, like, is Bucky going to just go by the Winter Soldier for this whole thing? Because that seems kind of, strange if he's going to be more public.
Like, the title of the series is the most normie thing and also the most intriguing thing in the world to me. Because there's both, is Bucky gonna call himself the Winter Soldier, the guy who started, the Iraq War? Is Falcon
gonna still call himself the Falcon? I assume maybe by episode 6 he will be Captain America?
That's what I'm thinking. I think we'll have a transition point of he's got the shield, he has the permission to call himself Captain America, but he still has this feeling of well, no, I am just the Falcon, or I need to do this or that in order to earn the title, something like that, and that's why he's still the Falcon.
Is Bucky gonna call himself the White Wolf by episode 6? Or is he gonna actually call himself that in the show and we're just saying the Winter Soldier for brand recognition? Maybe. I don't fully believe that, but maybe.
It's a possibility.
Let's state now. Do you think Bucky's going to go by the White Wolf, or is he going to go by something else?
I don't think he's going to go by anything. Okay. I'm going to say that the Winter Soldier is in the title for marketing purposes, and maybe we'll do some flashback stuff with that as well. But I think in the show himself, in the show he'll just be Bucky, because also there's no reason why he would need a code name if he's working with with Falcon.
Yeah.
He could just say, you know who I am. I'm just not going to use a hero name or anything.
But if they're more public about this, and that's what I'm picturing. I'm picturing this is going to be a very public, more street level thing. Not very street level, actually very more international, but still more less the whole Avengers, obviously. So.
Yeah. And to be fair, there is some cachet in him being the Winter Soldier. In the sense of, the Winter Soldier, that boogeyman, the terrifying threat over the course of the last 100 years, is now working with, with the American government or with, whoever they're affiliated with.
Yeah.
I could see that being really good from, we're sending the New World Order in a tizzy sort of situation.
Yeah. And, it's interesting because he is way more of a public villain as the Winter Soldier than, Black Widow or Wanda or Quicksilver. I mean, even though he died, so it's not like they had that problem. But he's way more of a public villain than all the other villains we have. And like even Vision didn't really seem to have much of a problem, even though I imagine there would be more of a problem of, hey, isn't that Ultron? I mean, he doesn't look quite like him, but I mean, like, people will be like, where did he come from? What happened? And he came up right when you made Ultron? But, like, nobody seems to care.
I mean, to be fair, the age of Ultron was, like, a day, so...
Yeah. I mean, but still people, I would imagine, would know about it.
Maybe. Oh, boy, I mean... I also just
What do you mean, maybe? Like, he dropped Sokovia back on the ground. I feel like people know about that.
I mean, they might not know the guy Ultron.
Sure.
That's the thing. I mean, it's hard to say because there's so little that I know about what the people in the MCU know about what's been going on. I'm honestly hoping that this series helps with that a bit, because with WandaVision, I fully understand why we, didn't get a lot of insight into the common person there, because, like, it's very, very closed off.
Yeah, barely anybody knows about that.
Yeah, and, like, this series could also, like, if it's going to be very espionage-y, it could also be very closed off, very, like, only a couple people know about what's going on here, they only meet a couple of, like, important people. But I'd like to have more of an insight into what the common man is thinking about, the fallout of the snap and just the world at large and all that.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope we get more of that. We need to get more of the snap. It's relevant. We said it in WandaVision. It's relevant to literally every single character's life. So, we need to get more of that. So, I guess that's it. Let's get into this, right?
Yep. That's all I got.
If you want to get the full length, check it out on the Patreon below. You can get it for $4 a month on the Patreon below in the description. Go check that out. I mean, straight up, when this one comes up on YouTube, there's probably a shitload on the Patreon, because I don't know when I'm going to start putting these up on YouTube. This is just for the Patreon, because there's no schedule right now, and there's no nothing, so I have no idea what's on the Patreon. Go check. There might be a hell of a lot.
That is the ultimate straightforward, like, no, please check, we don't know.
I have no, it could be the whole goddamn series is already on Patreon. Most likely, honestly. There's only 6 episodes, so I'm probably going to have all 6 on the Patreon before it goes up on YouTube. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how capable I am of watching this stuff. So, let's go.
Criminal organization known as LAF is targeting Captain Hassan. They're high-powered. We need you to make sure that LAF doesn't deliver on their threat.
Interesting, they still work with the government.
Already entered
like
Tunisian airspace. U.S. military cannot be seen operating out there.
I got it. You guys fly low, drop me off. I fly up to intercept. No treaties violated.
Especially because he's a veteran.
Subtle. Got it.
So excited to see the action here on, like, a TV budget.
Yeah.
They've already hijacked the plane.
God, the wings are so cool.
Yeah.
Red Wing, engage.
I hope he gets an actual Falcon in this as well.
Yeah, this drone is not cutting it. That's so cool.
Oh, it's so much bigger too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's bad, but
yeah. Hope he knows how to land a plane.
Yeah. Very reminiscent of like the Batroc fight.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. These guys are French.
Well, the air's his territory, so.
These guys are not prepared for an air fight.
No. What was his plan? I mean, maybe they have a better plan, but it doesn't seem like
maybe.
it. Oh, this is so cool, yeah.
Yeah. You know what? Whoever these guys are, they got balls. Holy shit.
Yeah? Jesus. Okay. Jesus Christ. Seems like he was trying not to kill him, and then it's like, okay, fuck it.
Oh boy.
Okay.
God damn.
Once again, the balls on these guys.
Seriously.
If we get to the border, he's not gonna follow.
Sure. Damn.
It's so interesting to see, like, going from the Avengers, like, really trying not to kill to just like, yeah, fuck it.
Oh yeah, Falcon kills.
How long I got? 90 seconds?
I do like, because, you know, he is working for the U.S. military right now. He can't be international right now. This is not an Avengers thing.
Yeah.
Oh, that's never stopped the U.S. before.
Yeah, I cannot imagine it's looking any better in a movie. Like, they're going all out.
Yeah.
I do love all the headshots we're getting as well.
Yeah, they're so good.
Like, it's so much more visceral than seeing, like, you know, Tony's face in the HUD.
Yeah. Okay. Bye-bye. Okay, he's still up.
Holy crap.
هاي افنجرز عالسلامة ديت لي مرتي عايشك برشا
أنا كوندما. Farham Bash, Naunak City.
Love to see that.
Yeah.
But there's... Oh, bam, right there.
You see these guys? These are the guys you got to worry about. I've been stumbling onto their manifestos on message boards. They call themselves the Flag Smashers.
Also like an ARG sort of like signal.
They think that
Yeah.
the world was better during the blip. Trust me, it wasn't.
Trust me, every time something gets better for one group, it gets worse for another.
Yeah, essentially these people, they want a world that's unified without borders. So you can see why a lot of people are into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very interesting, like, there wasn't really borders during the blip. I mean, it seems like there was, though.
Yeah, I'm curious to see, like, what their deal is going to be. Yeah.
Because like online, there's just been a lot of stuff about Steve. Actually, they think that he's in the secret base on the moon.
Yeah, like, nobody knows he's old and where the fuck he went, I'm sure.
But you didn't like fly him to the moon? No.
So they're keeping it very under wraps. I mean, it was a very selfish thing to do. The public would not, like, respond well to that. Be like, what about us?
The idea that they think he's just a watcher is so funny.
What are you doing there?
Moon stuff.
Steve represented the best in all of us.
Are we saying he died?
We need new heroes. Ones suited for the times we're in.
I like setting that up.
We don't even know if old Steve is still in this timeline or not.
Yeah, he could have gone back, you think? Why would he?
I think so.
I don't know if there's ever been a greater symbol, but it's more about the man who propped it up. And he's gone.
Thank you, Captain America, but this belongs to you.
Okay.
I don't know how he didn't see that coming. This is Smithsonian. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, what the hell? I mean, we don't really know where the hell we are.
Yeah. This could be in the past, maybe.
So, Mr. Barnes, are you still having nightmares?
No. I crossed the name off the list of my amends yesterday. I used all your 3 rules. She was a Hydra pawn for years.
Rule number 1, can't do anything illegal. Rule number 2, nobody gets hurt. It's a big one.
Then why isn't that rule number 1?
The whole point of making amends is to fulfill rule number 3.
I'm no longer the Winter Soldier,
I'm James Bucky Barnes,
and you're part of my efforts to make amends.
Smile.
So you did it all right, but it didn't help with the nightmares.
well, like I said, I didn't have any. What's wrong?
Watashi no Musuko, he was working abroad, and he was killed. I will never know what really happened to him.
Oh, man. I do love that Sam and Bucky's story is so different right now.
Yeah.
Like, I have no idea how they're going to connect, other than Sam has been trying to contact him. I like that we're going to get a lot of set places.
Yeah.
Oh, the swamp looks so good.
It does. I love how colorful it's been already.
Yeah. Okay. Wilson family seafood?
Oh.
Blue for the snapper, orange for the whitefish.
Uncle Sam!
I need to go get Uncle Sam.
Now that the world is going back to normal, this thing's gotta go.
We grew up on this thing.
What's good, Big Sam?
Oh, what's going on, man? Trying to live like you, bro.
No. Off to save the world again?
No, come on, Carlos. You know I'm around here more than you, man. I'm always repping no.
When you gonna let me borrow the wings, man? As soon as you give my sister back that $100 you borrowed.
God, I love this.
Yeah.
What if you had money to fix it up? Make it nice so you can charter it when you're not out working the waters.
Do you know how hard it was for me to come to terms with the situation?
We can take a loan and consolidate everything. It'll take down your monthly. What?
You think I didn't try the banks? They're in with all of that big business.
Yeah, but now you have me.
Hey, what are you doing here?
Oh, did he do it?
How was the date?
Oh, probably.
How long ago was it, though? Oh, yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. Can't believe we didn't call that immediately. Yeah, Fury's a name in his book that he can't cross off.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just a distraction, I guess.
Yeah. Makes sense, because like none of these people are connected, presumably, like just through the app.
Okay.
So definitely super, right?
Sorry, I keep thinking, did you used to play for LSU? I mean, do I know you from somewhere?
I don't know, do you?
I knew it, Falcon.
Yeah.
Yes, man. Oh,
I didn't want to say anything, you know.
I always wanted to be an Avenger.
Oh, man. Like keeping my family's business afloat by changing to a fishing and charter model.
You know what I've always wondered? How do you guys make a living?
You mean those guys or the guys sitting in front of you trying to get a loan?
Both. I mean, your financials are all over the place. Is there some kind of fund for heroes, or did Stark pay you when he was around? My condolences, by the way.
Good question, huh?
No, it's a tremendous amount of goodwill, and because of that, people are inclined to help, which applies to the business.
Right, but you couldn't have been living off
Trying so hard to get this back on track.
I don't get what you're going for here. Are you trying to help us or indict us?
You have no income over the last 5 years.
How can you have income
Half
if
the
you don't
population
exist?
doesn't.
Sarah, I've been gone, like several billion other people. But if you look at our plan, I have government contracts. So that's proof of earnings. And I know for a fact that we qualify for an SBA loan.
Under the old terms, sure.
Oh, God.
But these days, with everyone just showing up, well, things tighten up.
Funny how things always tighten around us.
Whoa, easy there. Look, I'm on your side. After all, he's a hero. Is there any chance, and of course you could say no, that I could get a selfie with your arms out?
Are you serious?
This fucking guy.
I know your family has banked with us for generations, but we cannot approve you.
God damn. And that's with the cachet of him being a literal ass superhero.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
This is the kind of shit I wanted about this fucking snap, though.
Oh yeah, so glad they're doing this.
I swear, after Daddy died,
See, I knew that was gonna come up.
I never hid what I thought. You had to go off and fight armies and monsters, and I appreciate that. But you don't get to come back here and try to right your wrongs just because you couldn't deal with what was going on here. You don't know what happened these last 5 years. I was alone with 2 babies, and I survived.
I'm really liking Sam's story the most out of this. Like, Bucky's is so good too, but I'm glad we're getting a lot more personal stuff with Sam.
Yeah. Oh man.
You better look at this.
While we love heroes who put their lives on the line to defend Earth, we also need a hero to defend this country.
We need a real person who embodies America's greatest values.
Oh my god. They're making another goddamn. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
Join me in welcoming
your new Captain America.
That's why you gotta step up, Sam. Costume and all. But I don't know. Is this the same guy? Because he doesn't have long hair. That might have been a failed attempt. And the fucking shield he put in the goddamn Smithsonian. Yeah, that's not the same guy.
Not him.
Still.
Yeah.
That face.
Yeah, if you don't claim the symbol, someone else will.
I love that he looks like a fucking Captain. Like, he looks like he could have been cast in the fucking 1990s Captain America.
Oh, yeah. And there have been multiple other Captain Americas, so I'm curious to see, like, which one they're going for with this guy.
Or it's gonna be just an original.
Could be.
I love this. Like, all the graffiti.
Yeah. I do like what I assume is going to be the trend of, like, these shows have, like, you know, a made, like, you know, long outro as opposed to, like, you know, a long intro.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it'd be weird to have an intro with something like this.
Yeah.
One world people. I like the sentiment. But yeah, I like that, like, Flag Smasher seems to be like, this is what we're doing, this is what we're all about, and then when you go to do that, he's just like, haha, I'm stealing money and you're getting framed for it, fuck you.
Yeah, like, I'm sure he has a, you know, a wording for
John
this
Walker.
that makes sense. Oh, shit.
That's what it said.
Oh, shit.
That is, like, one of the actual ones from the comics, right?
Yes. That's what they're doing, then. Oh, boy.
It also seems like the girl that Bucky was talking to is going to be somebody.
Oh, those are the activation words.
Yeah. There's a lot of interesting shit going on here in these credits.
Was that Thanos or Zemo?
I could have been Zemo yet in the comics, like the comics look of it. We'll see you guys for the discussion. Okay, we are here for the discussion. Normally, I feel like I lead these discussions or anything like that. I'm going to leave it up to you to lead these discussions, and I hope I can talk as much as I normally talk about all this stuff, but, you know, maybe I won't be as talkative, so I apologize for that if that is the case. I feel like I gotta preface this stuff, even though I feel like the reaction was fine, and I had to preface that too, but I want to preface this in case something goes wrong.
Yeah, I think it's better to be more open than not.
I want to just start this off by asking, what was your favorite part of the episode? Like, what was just that? Like, what was your favorite moment, or just like overall, what was your favorite like thing from the episode?
Okay.
Like, I think mine was just seeing Sam's family and all that stuff. Like that, we had, you know, I really had no hints towards that at all, and so
yeah,
getting that and like everything we got with that really grounded his character in a way that he didn't need, because he was already had so much characterization and everything, but like it really just added a hell of a lot to him.
Yeah, and I think it creates a really strong contrast in that, like, Sam has, you know, like, one of them I think would need to have a bigger, like, supporting familial cast, even if they're not actual family. Like, it has to be either Sam or Bucky, because if they're both on their own, then that's depressing as hell. It sucks. You know, they would have to just be, like, working with the military the entire time or something.
And Bucky can't. Like, he just physically cannot have a family still.
Yeah. And, like, I appreciate that they do both have connections, but, like, you know, Sam's is his actual family and dealing with that and, like, you know, being more snap-focused, whereas, like, Bucky's is way more focused on, you know, his whole period as being the Winter Soldier. And the one thing in his life that seems like it was just generally going to be a nice thing was it clear, like, no, this is also a sin from his past. This is also, you know, even if he can have fun in the moment, this is tainted and it is something that he has to find some way to, you know, make recompense for. And this is a situation that he can't just, like, punch his way out of.
Like, yeah. I really appreciate also, like, both are very, like, shitty stuff going on. I mean, Bucky's way, way worse, but still, like, there's they both have shitty shit going on in their lives, but yet Sam's is so much more bright and vibrant and colorful, whereas Bucky's is very, like, dark and monotones and blacks and grays.
Yeah. To answer your question, I will say that I think my favorite part of the episode was just Sam and his sister, like, in the, like, office trying to get a loan.
Yeah.
Like, as weird as that sounds, just because it's so real and it has so much stuff that we've been asking, like, throughout the entire MCU of, like, how, like, was Sam getting paid? How do they get paid? What does this look like on paper? Like, how do you reintegrate in society after the snap? And it was all done in this way where it's like, yeah, this, like, even, like, it creates this thing that you should be very outraged at. It is the most, like, Sam has a level of privilege here that most people on the planet don't, and even with that, he can't get a loan. And if that's the case, then so many people are just, absolutely fucked, as they are in real life, to be fair. But in this situation, it is, just acknowledging how bad this situation is, and that, like, the Avengers saved the world, but they didn't fix all the problems in the world.
Yeah, and, like, as they brought up multiple times, it's like, yay, we've invented a new form of discrimination yet again. Like, goddamn, it's one thing after another after another. Like, I mean, like, especially with, like, his sister and, like, a lot of the people there, like, just, like, there's so much, like, being poor on top of all of this, and then being, black, being people who've been snapped. Like, not like his sister wasn't snapped, but still, like, it's just so much weight on top of weight on top of weight.
I appreciate the intersectionality of it.
Yeah.
Like, I could definitely see a version where they tried to do a big, like, everyone who has been snapped is part of, one group, and they're all discriminated against equally in order to, like, in order to get across that type of message of, like, it's, this type of being discriminated against. But I appreciate the intersectionality of this problem. The fact that it is, like, no, this is not, like, being discriminated against is not a new thing, but the whole snap situation is a new thing that's compounding on top of everything else. And it seems like this shit only happens to us.
Yeah. And, like, it has, a lot of real world, like, connections right now with the pandemic going on, where we're having huge swaths of the population die, and they ain't getting snapped back. And still, like, even, like, you are having such an insanely hard time trying to find a job right now, and, like, everybody, you're applying to asking, like, well, where's your work experience for the past 2 years? And it's like,
oh my God,
a fucking pandemic has happened. What do you mean?
Yeah, I have had my own, like, where have you been for the last 5 years over and over and over again.
Yeah. And it's just like, it's there's no answer. The answer is trying to stay alive.
Like, so many other people, like, I wish I could just say sometimes, like, this is not a weird thing. Like, I'm not the only person who, hasn't had a job experience in the last 2 years, or I'm not the only person who, doesn't have exact experience in my field. This is a big thing. I'm not the weird one here.
Yeah. And I fucking hate the fact that, like, I have been, being so good about not going out anywhere, constantly wearing a mask, barely ever going out anywhere, I almost never entered a store for these past 2 years. And then I go to fucking get dental work done, got fucking COVID, even though I'm double vaccinated and all that shit. It's just, like, infuriating.
It is so mad. Like, I'm, we can't go off on that too much, but I do just want to say that pisses me off so much, because it is the ultimate, like, this wouldn't have happened if, some people weren't being fucking assholes for the last 2 years.
Yeah. And, like, the group of, like, we want to go back to the way it was during the snap where, half the population was gone, and it's like, that was probably better for, like, 1% of the people who were even alive at that point.
Yeah.
Like, how many people benefited from that? How? How is anybody benefiting from that? It's an insanely small margin of people that are benefiting from that.
Yeah, like, we'll see what the Flag Smashers rhetoric is like, but I imagine a big part of it is just like, we didn't have a whole lot of, like, we had a lot of the international problems we usually have weren't happening because every country was in awful panic the entire time.
Yeah. I imagine there's a lot of people who were in extremely privileged situations where they didn't really have to worry about anything else, so they were like, oh, it's nice that, the international situations aren't happening. But it's like, well, that's a tiny upside to everything else that's going wrong.
Yeah, like I think so much about in Endgame, after Steve comes out of the counseling thing, where he mentions like, I'm trying to find something uplifting. He's like, yeah, the water is cleaner. I saw some whales out there.
Yeah.
And it's, like, he's clearly saying it as a, I'm trying to look on the bright side of this because the world's not going back to normal. Mm-hmm. And meanwhile, I could see so many other people who would unironically go like, yeah, it was better. Now it's shitty because half the population is back and things are going back to normal. I don't like it. Bring back the staff.
Like, yeah, it's, and the fact that they're, we went over this already in the reaction a little bit, but the fact that, like, they are using, like, we can say, oh, maybe that's their thing, but it really seems like everything they're saying is complete bullshit just as a way to get people to be a part of their group. I mean, it's very right-wing in that way of, like, saying something that nobody of the group actually believes, just in a way to get people on board originally.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like the whole money scene reminded me so much of, I'm sure they had to be thinking of this. Very early in the pandemic, there was a string of like TikTok robberies. I forget what it was actually called at the time, but the concept was just like, a group would say, all right, everyone, we're going to rob this store at this time. And it's not a, like, we are the ringleaders, we will do this. It was just a general, like, all right, everyone who sees this, go to the store and rob it at this time. The idea being that there's just so many people there that, like, people are going to get away with it. It's a fundamental, like, we're just playing the odds. The ringleaders will get some stuff, but it's even other people might profit more. Who cares? At the very least, we're getting a bunch of shit.
Yeah. But at least everybody's on board, and at least everybody knows what's happening there.
Yeah, this is way more opportunistic. This is way more of a, like, we're getting together for, a thing related to our cause. And the thing was just be around as a distraction.
Yeah.
And I definitely believe, in the next episode, we'll get some bullshit where they're like, yeah, we got this money, and of course we'll be, donating it to this charity, or we'll be doing X or Y with it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Or, like, I mean, to be fair, right after this happens, they go all black. So, like, they, like, cut all communications. There's no way to, like, so even, like, word of it is going to be, like, not spread very far amongst the people who are a part of it. Like, if you weren't there, and the people who were there are arrested, so, like, those words aren't going to get out.
Yeah, that's true. All they have to do is say, we have this cause. We've been doing it. Anyone who, got arrested, thank you for your service. Obviously, we're not going to tell you what we're doing because that would compromise it.
Yeah. It's very, very Hydra, because Hydra used to do the exact same thing. You do something, and then you go cut all communications, go completely dark.
Yeah, and having it be app-focused is, like, an evolution of the idea of, like, you cut off one head, another head, two heads grow back.
Yeah.
Like, you can just do it ad nauseum as much as you want.
Yeah, having it be, like, through apps, through ARG stuff, and, like, all this, like, shit that is not, like, mainstream, like...
Yeah.
It's, very, very alt-right, very far-right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it has this, a veneer of cool to it. Like, I can definitely see, teenagers just downloading the app and going like, oh, crap, we could be part of this thing. Do we understand what they're doing? Do we believe in it? Who cares? It's kind of cool. They give you a mask.
Mm-hmm. And, like, of course, like, it's so much cooler in a show like this. Like, it's so much more like, oh, we're doing a spy thing, rather than in real life where it's just like, here's a Facebook group called the Nazis. We're just on a Discord server. It's really not that cool in real life.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking lame.
Yeah, but people still think it's cool and get roped into it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you don't even need to invest all the ARG shits.
Yeah. I mean, that's why 4chan took off way back when as well. It's the whole idea of, like, even though this is so public, we're acting like it's so secret and, like, that sort of shit. Which is the same with this. Like, even this app we're using, this other guy was able to just download it because anybody can download it. It's not that secret. Like, it's not on the same level as, like, Hydra, but it's, like, trying to be Hydra.
Yeah, it's way more of a, like a tech bro Hydra, essentially. It is the, like, we're going to leverage, this audience of people. It is the Uber of Hydra.
But we really both thought that, like, they were unveiling, like, their new super soldier was going to be the Flag Smasher guy. I mean, the group is called Flag Smasher, but we're just kind of calling him Flag Smasher as well. Like, just
I think we've differentiated with like the Flag Smashers versus Flag Smasher.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But yeah, so no, we got a new person there. I wonder how many super soldiers we're gonna get, and is it successful? There's no way it was successful. So,
no.
What's the catch?
Yeah, I mean, regardless of how they did it, like definitely not going to be the secret sauce. It's not going to be the super soldier serum, the holy grail.
Yeah.
But on top of that, like despite everything else, the other reason why Steve Rogers is unreplicatable is because he is like the best of us. Like he is so pure-hearted. Like anyone else, like the serum amplifies whatever's in you, whether it be good or bad.
Yeah.
Like if this guy is corruptible, I imagine
it amplifies your personality.
I mean, I'd say it would, just in the sense that any power amplifies your personality.
I won't, like, in the sense like the power is not amplifying it, but you as a person will, like, because you have this newfound power, it will bring out other shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so I'm excited because I don't know anything about John Walker other than the name. I know the name is from the comics and everything like that, but I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, I know a bit more, but we'll also see. Like, every adaptation is so insanely different.
Yeah. We'll probably start, before the next episode, do the thing of, like, right before we start, I'll have you have your, like, little spoiler section that you can say whatever you want to say.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll give that a go.
Yeah.
But again, yeah, like, just the...
Keep going.
Oh, just I wanted to just transition into without talking about John Walker specifically, just the idea of creating this symbol and the idea of if you don't take a symbol for yourself, someone else is gonna take it, because that is clearly a big thing we're doing here.
Yeah, and I love that, like, Sam tried to be like no, I'm not going to take this up, and I can't be this, and only Captain America could be this, but, like, you need, like, the world is going to feel that regardless, so you should take it up.
Yeah, like, that is 100% what I believe Steve was thinking in his mind when he said, you need to be Captain America. It was not just, like, there should, just, like, I think you'd look cool wearing a shield.
Yeah.
It's way more than that. It is, like, of anyone I know, you are the person who should be this symbol. It doesn't matter if you're perfect or not. You're better than any alternative.
And it doesn't matter if you want to or not. You kind of have to. Like, if he gives it to you and says you have to be the new Captain America, you gotta step up and be the new Captain America. You're an Avenger. It's not like he's going to some random person on the street and like, you need to be the new Captain America. Like, you were already a person in an extreme responsibility role, so it's not like he's giving you this, like, huge... Like, it is he's giving you huge responsibility, but it's not like... You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he knows you're prepared. He knows you're already prepared for it and you can handle it.
Yeah, but at the same time, I see why Sam shrunk away from it, because it is, it's terrifying. The idea of that weight, that power of fucking it up, and especially, the fact that he doesn't see himself as being the biggest hotshot. Like, he tries to leverage his fame every once in a while. He's got a comfortable, vibe, but he's not cocky. Like, he's no Tony Stark, for instance. Like, Tony would definitely be like, yeah, sure, I'm gonna take it. I'll be Iron Man. But that's exactly why, I'll be Captain America. But that's why you wouldn't want to be Captain America. Of course you would say, I want to be Iron Man. So... I'm really curious to see how Sam and Bucky are going to connect, because I could see them, like, for another episode keeping them separate. But that's also just because I don't, like... Sam has a clear into why he would, like, confront, Walker if this is who it is. There's a reason why he would, either stand up for the government or, try and rebel or whatever's gonna happen. But Bucky's so not connected to any of that. I mean, I guess Sam's been, like, texting him over this. Or, I mean, is it this or is it something else? I mean, it wouldn't be literally this.
Because, I mean, they both have that connection to Cap, so, I mean, like, I don't see why it couldn't be, like, about, I mean, not the Flag Smasher stuff, but, like, about, like, the mantle of Captain America thing. Like, probably being like, what do you think I should do? Or, like, not like that specifically, but, like, just trying to talk with him so you can have somebody who knows kind of, like, who knew Cap in a very personal way to talk about this kind of stuff.
Because we do know, like, from Endgame, it was, it was definitely hinted that, like, Bucky and Cap had talked about all of this prior. Like, it was clear that Bucky was, like, the only person who knew what Steve was going to do. And if that's the case, like, I would love to see, like, a flashback, or just, in his own words, him talking about what was going on. Because I could definitely, actually, now that you mention it, I could see Episode 2 having a big scene where they meet up, and he's like, hey, what do you mean you donated the shield? What do you mean this other guy's Captain America? I would have definitely told you to stop. And then Sam could just say, well, I texted you, I asked, you didn't respond.
Yeah, like, I'm so excited to see, like, what, like, because, the Flag Smasher stuff specifically, like, how is he going to get involved with that? I can see how Bucky can get involved with Sam, but, like, why would he fight with that about that stuff? What's going to be the pushing factor there? And, like, how long is that going to take? Is it going to be, like, towards the end of the series, halfway, next episode? I can't even imagine next episode we're getting to that point. I mean, other than him seeing this new Captain America, maybe.
Yeah.
But we're also setting up so much of Bucky in the place where he is. Like, specifically, that he's just, like, this very local area. And, like, characters around there.
Yeah.
So, I can't see him just, like, going off on an international mission.
Like, yeah, the place where Sam is right now, he could definitely go off on an international mission for the rest of this, and then, like, get texts from his sister, or, like, meet up with the kids every once in a while. Yeah. Like, I could see that.
And even Sam has a new supporting cast. So it's like they are so separate, and I don't know how we're going to connect them, if we even are. Like, I mean, we are, but, like, they could fight two separate battles and then come together at the end.
That is possible in its own way, yeah. Because, we also... we really don't know what they're gonna do with the, like, clearly superhuman Flag Smasher. Like, is that a super soldier serum situation? I'm saying that specifically because because, like, the last time we really followed up on that plot thread was Civil War, like, with the other people who were enhanced like Bucky, and, like, all of those guys got killed.
Yeah, I guess it could just be the Hydra enhancement thing. Yeah, like, they clearly managed to do it.
Yeah, and they're like we're setting this so far away from America that I think it'd be really, really weird to double back to, like, oh, it's just the stuff that General Ross was injecting into the Abomination in the Hulk movie. Yeah. Like, if it's something that similar, I think it's gotta be something from somewhere else, like an attempt by some other country to make the super soldier serum.
Yeah, you'd imagine. But it doesn't necessarily need to be. But I can't imagine they're going to call back to that.
Yeah. So much possibility.
Yeah. And we had, like, I love getting to see the Smithsonian again with all this shit.
Yeah. Love the new layout for the Smithsonian. Or, like, specifically for the, like, the Rogers exhibits.
Yeah, the Cap area. Oh, yeah, the motorcycle scene, that is so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciated that, like, when we were going through, the camera, like, stopped a bit on the Bucky thing, just, to highlight that, he's also definitely mentioned here, which was, such a big emotional moment in the movies.
And, like, he mentioned there a lot, like, he's got, once he came back, they were like, oh, I guess we should have a lot more about this guy. And really cool to, like, get the flashback with Bucky. Like, one is how we can set up the whole, like, him killing that guy's son and everything like that, but also just to remind you the kind of shit that he did. Like, it's always nice to have a visual, let's go back into this one more time, and a new thing to, like, remind you how bad it was.
Yeah, because a common move that, like, especially live action stuff, but, any media will do in order to, like, soften someone who did a bad thing is to just not show it, or to not, like, give you a new scene of it. Like, they can talk about it, but as long as the character's just saying, I did big things in the past, like, you don't really remember what exactly they did. So even if they, like, blew up a bus full of children, as long as they don't say that, you'll think, oh yeah, he was just kind of a bad guy.
Yeah.
So, like, really highlighting, what the Winter Soldier was. And especially, the fact that he killed, that kid, and there was no real reason for it. Like, sure, he was, mopping up loose ends, but what was this kid gonna say besides, there was a scary guy who shot some people?
Yeah. And, like, the Winter Soldier has already been, like, a thing that people have known about throughout the years, so...
Mm-hmm.
And, like, he wears a mask so nobody knew it was Bucky, but still, like, people knew the Winter Soldier was doing things for 100 years.
Yeah. Like, there have to be some reports. And, one report from, like, one, kid who happened to work at that place wouldn't change the scales in the slightest.
Yeah. And, like, of course, he was brainwashed, so he couldn't do anything about it. But, like, it's still, it's like the, like, the uninvolved person.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, not like any of them were involved anyway. They were all people that Hydra was killing, so they had to have all been good people.
Yeah. I'm so curious as to how he made his list. Like, is he using, like, government stuff in order to figure out who all these people are? Or, like, did he just have to try and remember everything as best as he could and just go over it again and again and again and try and figure out, like, who all these loose ends are?
Yeah, I imagine that it's just through memory. Which is terrible, but...
Yeah, like, that's so insane. Like, imagine, having a memory of killing this kid and then having to track down, like, okay, this had to be this specific person, and then I'm going to check all his, like, surviving family members, and then I will track down where those family members are so I can hopefully apologize to one of them.
Yeah, maybe it is, like, the therapist and everybody who that is, like, helping him make that list and then helping him make amends.
Yeah, that would make sense because of, like, the hard 3 rules.
Yeah, and I like that, like, there is the difference between, like, that guy who he just needed to, like, apologize to, but obviously that's impossible, because how do you apologize for something like this? And there's other people who are, like, people I put in power and I want to wrap up those loose ends. Like, that's not making amends. That's making the opposite of amends.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I love that whole scene for showing that, like, it is a layer on top of what he, on paper needs to be doing. Like, he is just, he is theoretically just going up to her and saying, hey, I was the Winter Soldier, not the Winter Soldier anymore, I'm Bucky Barnes, I want to make amends. But clearly he has a sense of justice. He is still fighting a war. Like, he still needs to take these people out of power. He still needs to do more than, the bare minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really appreciate that for, like, again, how it contrasts with the old guy, because it's such a clear, like, as long as you can solve the problem by, like, getting someone arrested or punching someone in the face, like, that is a billion times easier. And that does seem to be part of the theme of this whole series, is, like, here are the things that are insanely, not insanely easy to do, but they are capable, there are things you can do, like Sam can, strap on, his wings, and he can fly out to the desert, and he can fight guys in midair, but he can't get alone.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that was fucking awesome. That guy is definitely going to come back in some way, too, because we never finished off him.
Yeah.
I don't remember what his name was, or if we even got a name for him, but...
I don't think we did. We just got that they were from the RAF, I believe.
Was it LAF?
No, yeah, it was the LAF.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they've come up before.
I don't even remember if that stood for anything, like, we got what that stood for.
I don't think we did, because I was looking out for them to actually, say what it was, and I think they only ever called it the LAF.
Okay. I actually do, like, I just went back on the very first, like, scene where we're seeing, like, the breakdown on, like, the computer and everything like that. It did say, like, they have very, like, advanced wingsuits and everything.
Okay.
So, I like that they set that up even before we saw that there.
Mm-hmm. Man, I mean, those glide suits are just so cool.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, I mean, that whole scene was such a great way to open this up with an action scene.
Seriously. Like, it is such a clear thesis statement of, like, WandaVision also looked fantastic, but so much of what made WandaVision cool was, the practical effects and the very, like, hokey effects for, like, most of the series. Like, pulling out the big guns at the very end was the big, like, okay, so they can also do this. Mm-hmm. Whereas this is, like, front-loading it with a big, this is equal to any of the, like, movies you might be waiting out for. This is going to look amazing. This is going to be exciting action. This is going to be a type of fight scene you haven't seen before.
Oh, yeah. Like, absolutely amazing fight scene. So much better than just, like, he's just flying around with 2 pistols.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, I can't get over, like, Infinity War is a big war, thing, and he was just so boring in that. Like, a lot of the people were, because they were just, we're just shooting a gun, and it's like, well, I want you to do some cool moves. But when you're just fighting, like, an endless army, it's like, yeah, it makes more sense to just have some guns, but why is boring?
Like, for presumably action movies, and I do know that, like, part of the MCU process is, like, having a whole team that, just does action scenes, and, like, the director can choose to also, like, say, I want to do it like this, or we're going to, like, change this up, or put in this set piece, but you can also just do one of the movies and then have just the fight team on their own, just to do all the action separately from whatever you're doing as the director.
Yeah.
And, like, that is what so much of the fight in Infinity War feels like. Like, apart from the big climaxes of, like, we're fighting this, member of Thanos' children. Mm-hmm. For most of it, it is literally just like, yeah, Bucky has a gun, and he's just shooting these dogs in the head. Or so much of it is just one of us has a gun, or one of us, any of the named characters aren't doing that much more than any of the random Wakandan, soldiers.
Yeah, exactly.
At which point it's like, well, why are we focusing on these people? Why are we focusing on the Avengers? They suck. Just show me more of the Wakandans if they're going to be exactly the same.
Yeah, like there's no real difference in what they're, like, how much firepower they're putting out, really. Other than just like, maybe Bucky might have a bigger gun.
Yeah, and it's the kind of thing I can excuse more in the final fight in Endgame just because it's so insanely big. Like, there's so much stuff where it's like, you're just supposed to let the fights wash over you. But the Infinity War fight is so much tighter. And so, therefore, if it's lazy, it stands out more. And that is why, like, going back to this fight is so insanely tight. Like, it is a clear, we have to save one person, here are the other people, and then the bad guys will bring in the helicopters. Like, the stakes will increase higher and higher and higher. But it is fundamentally a, like, everyone is trying to kill Sam. Sam has to do whatever he can to survive and save this one guy.
And it's crazy that it's taken us this long to get a fight with the Falcon in the air.
Yeah.
Like, he's kind of a little bit before, but again, it's been like mooks that he's been taking. I mean, these guys are mooks too, but they made it so cool.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like, this is the big, like comic book adaptation thing I would want of... Sometimes in comics you get mooks who are just really, really cool for no reason because they just need to, they need to fill up an entire issue before you fight the main boss. So it's like, yeah, these guys are just gonna fight the main character for the entire thing, and we have to, make it so that the hero doesn't look like a dumbass. So they have to just be really, really good.
Yeah, and like. Same thing with like this that felt like a fight from like the early Iron Man movies, like the early ones, but the solo ones.
Right.
And like same thing with like Rhodes always had some cool ass fights in the solo Iron Man movies, and then once we moved away from those, he kind of just stopped having cool fights. And like Sam never got that until now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I'm very, very glad we got that. It was so cool seeing him do that final move of grabbing the guy out of the helicopter, doing that like Spider-Man, like making your body small and like going to a tiny little gap.
Yeah, I really love his wings for how they can, like, at different points make him feel giant and imposing, while also making him feel extremely tiny, like, depending on whether they're out or in. Like, it functions the same as, like, a cape.
The only thing I'm not sold on is Red Wing, and, like, we're never going to get an actual Falcon. I so wish we got an actual Falcon, because it would be so much fucking cooler than this random-ass drone. But, like, hopefully they can sell me on the drone by the end of the series, but... I don't know. It's so not interesting. I mean, it's the same reason why I hate Spider-Man's drones. They're not interesting.
Yeah, they're just drones.
Yeah.
And like you can give a drone a personality if you want to, and like I feel like we might be getting there kind of with the fact that like only Sam can repair his suit. Like that adds a level of like, I'm the only one who can do this. And I imagine like they could explain like if Red Wing gets a personality, it could be like, oh, it's glitching out a little bit, but it's not causing any problems. It's just a little sassy now.
But yeah, I think that's the main thing. Like, it needs a personality, but even more than that, it's so much more cheesy to have, like, a drone thing that he calls, like, a pet sort of thing, rather than just having a Falcon. Like, having an actual, real Falcon would be so much less corny than what they're doing. And I love corny stuff, but it's just, like, it's corny in a bad way. It's corny in, like, a cowardly way.
I mean, I'm just going to come right out and say it. We've been watching Peacemaker.
Oh, yeah.
And, yeah, in Peacemaker, like, there is a, like, Peacemaker has a pet eagle that is, it's mostly CG, but it's very good CG, and it's, it doesn't detract at all from the series. It's just like, yeah, he does just have a pet bird. Yeah. It works so well.
And so far, like, that is a little bit different, because that is, like, his literal pet eagle. It is his actual best friend, and, like, that's different, because he doesn't have him out when he's fighting, usually, or at all so far. So that's a little bit different. Like, I think, like, I want to see him have, like, a Falcon that he actually calls out to fight and everything like that. And you can have the Falcon be in armor, even.
Yeah, like, if you don't know, by the way, Falcon in the comics, his main thing was that he had a Falcon. And we have, like, stories upon stories upon stories of him having a Falcon that,
how they
is
wouldn't
flying
know.
around.
We've talked about that in nearly every single thing Sam's been in.
Oh, yeah. You never know.
We have been the give us a fucking Falcon from Civil War, or not Civil War, Winter Soldier. We've been saying that.
Yeah.
Still haven't done it. They're never going to. Like, I know we're not going to get the Falcon in this. I know, but I want it.
Yeah. Like, yeah, the Peacemaker thing was just proof positive to me of like, okay, so it is possible. Like, I knew it was possible, but this is something proving that no, you can also just do it.
Even if he never got one, I would have been happy enough with, like, going to his sister's house and being like, yeah, this was Dad's Falcon. Or even just, like, a picture of a Falcon, and then, like, it'd be like, oh, that's why he has Red Wing. Like, it's, he used to have a Falcon, and then it died and something, but, like...
Yeah, that would be fine.
Yeah, it was just like, I don't know, not having any Falcon at all bothers me so much, and I just want it so badly.
Well, maybe.
It is so weird to say, by the way, that we've been watching Peacemaker because I haven't seen any other DC thing at all until I finally watched the Suicide Squad. And even then, it's like, those are the only two things I've seen.
Oh, you saw Shazam?
Yeah. I forget that's part of that universe.
But anyways...
Oh, by the way,
really
so really quick, the LAF, some of the mooks there, like, they made a point of, like, I showed them for like a split second, but, like, they're all from different places, like Spain, Czech Republic, Norway.
Okay, yeah, because the leader guy was, like, speaking French, so I kind of just assumed they were all French.
Yeah, but no, they are all from different places.
Okay. Good to know. Like, especially since we do have, like, I doubt they're directly connected to the Flag Smashers or anything, but I imagine, like, the series will make a point about that, with the whole, like, was the world better, quote-unquote, during the snap? Were the borders better?
Yeah. Also, in classic MCU fashion, he was wearing a fucking, USB around his neck.
Oh!
What was the USB? We don't know.
It's the far-flung future, and yet the USBs are still the most important thing in the world.
They're never going to be the USB.
It's the final form of technology.
And yeah, I did love the, like, fighting right before they got to the border and everything. That was super cool.
Yeah, I really hope that we get a Bucky fight that is as good as that. In the sense of, like we've seen a Winter Soldier fight, and now I want to see how he fights, like, in contrast to that. Like, I imagine since Sam, is clearly very okay with killing now, that, like, Bucky might be the one who has the, Batman-esque, I definitely 100% cannot kill right now, that is one of my triggers, I do not want to do that, I'm gonna have nightmares for years if I, kill someone else.
Yeah, I can imagine it's definitely gonna be a big thing.
Yeah, because like in any like buddy situation, I you gotta have some contrast, and that's something that immediately popped into my head. Like we could have like I don't think you would stop Falcon from killing, but I imagine we'll have the the dual perspectives of like you could solve this a lot faster if you snipe this person, but no, I can't snipe someone, so you're gonna have to do a Falcon thing to get them.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing, like having emotional reasons why the characters don't do certain things allows you to have lower stakes that are still extremely exciting. Like lower stakes where you don't just go, well, why don't they just summon all the drones from space and have them carpet bomb the whole area? The answer being, well, the characters wouldn't do that, and also that's fucked up. Why would you ask that?
And this is definitely one where it's like, WandaVision was like, yeah, your kids can probably watch this in the same way they watch most of the MCU movies, but this is one of the first ones where it feels like, yeah, kids aren't going to be interested in this. Like, just blankly, like, kids are not going to find this that entertaining. So we can go a little bit harder on, like, killing and stuff.
Yeah. I honestly really do appreciate that vibe. That as much as it is, hard to talk about in the first episode. Like, I appreciate that they went so hard at the very start with that exact vibe of, yeah, we're gonna have a lot of just emotional character stuff. We're gonna have the characters just talking about their existence.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not feeling Sam talking about trying to get alone, then you're not gonna like the series.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that was towards the very end. That was not the beginning, but still. Like, yeah, it's a very, very dry first episode. Like, there is some comedy bits in it, but, like, it is pretty dry. And I do appreciate that, because for something like this, that's what you would want.
Yeah, really, for the MCU, like, after Phase 3, I need reassurance from the creators that we're not going to have the constant, Infinity War Endgame, everyone does a goof every 5 seconds, how dare you try to have pathos?
Yeah. And, like, we get it a lot with Bucky, actually, which is very, like, deflecting. Like, he is doing that as a coping mechanism.
Yeah. I'm so excited to see them together. I mean, I'm totally fine if we have to spend an episode, one more episode or 2 more episodes before they, like, team up. But I really want to see them together again, just because I was remembering, their dynamic in, like, Civil War. And they have such a strong dynamic, just as, like, 2, like, boys who just won't get along. And now they don't have their daddy anymore.
Yeah. I might have to start cutting this short, because I'm starting to get some pretty bad pain, but I do want to mention, like, Bucky having the, like, sleeping on the floor, not in his bed, going through that PTSD, like, that's a very common thing, you can't sleep in a bed afterwards, you get back from war, you gotta sleep on the floor, because that's what feels familiar.
I can't believe I didn't say this at the very start, but we know that, Sam's whole deal before Winter Soldier was that he is, he is someone who gives therapy to people who, to soldiers who have come back from the war and have severe PTSD.
Yeah.
And yet we've never seen, like, him and Bucky in that position. Like, that makes so much sense. Like, I hope we have a whole ass episode, honestly, where it is just the two of them talking about this shit, because, yeah, that would be perfect.
And I hope we talk more about, like, Sam going back to the military. Like, he was retired, he was a veteran, and now he's going back in. And
yeah,
I mean, we kind of got our answer though, I guess. Money, he needs the money. They're not getting paid, especially now Stark's gone.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like, Stark is still around as a company, but, like, they were acting like Stark never paid them, which is crazy, actually.
Yeah, and to be fair, I can see that. Tony is the kind of person who, in my mind, doesn't remember that other people have bills or need money or anything. He's just like, yeah, we're just gonna do this thing. It's gonna be great. And I'm sure he, like, he bought them, like, gear and stuff. But I can totally see why he just wouldn't give them salary.
Like, yeah, they still were living at the Avengers compound, so they still had room, board, assuming food that was stocked there constantly and everything like that. Like, even if they weren't getting paid a salary or hourly or anything like that, they still had, like, a lot of that stuff looked after.
Yeah.
And so, like, I can see why some of them might not have, like, been like, well, let me get a job on the side. It's like, well, I'm doing all this other stuff. And they were getting paid, but it just was, like, not officially through any means. It was, goodwill, people donating to them.
Yeah. Yeah, we definitely don't need to delve into that in any way, but I am, like, still curious about, like, how that was done. Like, is there an Avengers donation front? If you go to McDonald's, is there, like, a little box that says, put your change here and the Avengers will get it?
Probably not at McDonald's, but, like, way more of a, like, I don't think there's an official charity for the Avengers. It's more like people just going, like, I want to give, this money to the Avengers. Like, I doubt, I mean, there's probably still a lot of people who are, like, giving small amounts, but they're probably making the vast majority of their money from people giving huge donations. Also in a way of, going, like, hey, protect me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah.
But yeah,
it's interesting, like, yeah, he's now, I assume, doing the stuff to get more contracts and get money that way.
Yeah. Because I also just appreciate that, because that means every other character who is an Avenger is, like, not necessarily in this exact situation, but we can assume they're, at the very least, in a similar situation of they can pull money from the Avengers donation fund, and they have to find some other way to live because they don't have a big stockpile of cash. Like, Pepper Potts has money, and that's probably it.
Yeah. Does Banner work for Stark again? Like, he did at one point, but then he left. Is he working there again? I don't know.
Mm-hmm. He wasn't making a salary in Sakaar. I mean, he had a cool room, but all that shit's gone now.
Yeah. But yeah, anything else you wanted to bring? Oh, I like that Rhodes was in this, a lot with Sam, like both as like the two military guys and also the two black guys.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they got a lot of connections, like a lot of reason to have, talk. What am I trying to say? A lot of reason to have like a strong relationship. And so I'm glad we're catching up on that, because I've always loved their relationship. Like, that's always been a thing they've had throughout the whole, MCU, and so I really appreciate that.
Yeah. Really like that. I'm also just glad in general that the cast so far is relatively tight. Like, the thing I was worried the most about is that we would have, a big, like, CIA cast, and that would be, like, where the main focus of the series was.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very glad that's not the case. It does make it very difficult to then think of what the heck's going to happen next, but I honestly really like that looseness to it, the series. Like, I appreciate that we don't have a very clear direction forward besides, the Flag Smashers are a thing, and there's a new Captain America.
Yeah. I love Sam being Uncle Sam. I love that his family is from Louisiana, around Chesapeake Bay. I'm from Chesapeake Bay. Seeing that Old Bay in his house was like, oh yeah, Old Bay.
All the sets and everything are just so good.
Yeah. We talked, like, when you came down to visit, we talked about this before. It's like, Old Bay is one of those. It's so funny to me that, like, you'll go to, like, any, like, random shop at, like, Ocean City or something like that around here. It doesn't even buy the Chesapeake Bay, but still, like, I love that Old Bay's, like, promotional stuff. Like, you get, like, a shirt that's Old Bay, but it's not like just a shirt that says Old Bay on it or has a unique logo. It's always just a picture of the can Old Bay. Like,
oh, yeah.
It's so funny. But, like, I get it. It's everything looks the exact same no matter what kind of merch you get that has Old Bay on it. It's just a picture of the fucking can. It's never anything else.
It is ubiquitous. Your family had 3 cans of different flavors of Old Bay.
Oh, yeah. That was the only thing that felt unrealistic. See, they have 1 can of Old Bay, and it's like, ain't no fucking way the Fisherman family has 1 can of Old Bay. You're lying to me. You're lying.
That's how you know they're doing badly. They don't have the money for the extra cans of Old Bay.
Yeah, they were rich. That whole shelf would have been Old Bay.
Well, hopefully by episode 6, they'll figure something out, and we'll have a big final shot. The post-credit sequence will be Sam's sister with an entire truckload of Old Bay.
I want to see Sam come back to the Avengers compound wearing a shirt that is just a picture of an Old Bay can.
I could see it in the show. But yeah, that's basically all I've got.
Yeah. Next episode, I'm extremely excited to see John Walker and what's going to be going on with him and his goofy-ass looking face.
Yeah, I don't want to say much about, like, the costume and whatnot, because we haven't really seen it properly. Like, a still is not the costume. Seeing it in action or seeing him walk around, that's when I can start to talk about what it's like.
Yeah. I mean, I don't. The costume is one thing. The costume is, its own thing. It's got a distinct look and everything like that. But I just love how square his fucking face is. Oh, he looks so. I can't get over so much that it's like he looks like he is just playing Captain America in like fucking 1990, like in that specific 1990s Captain America movie. He would be perfect for it.
One last thing is just, obviously, this is not going to happen, but when we saw the shield in the Smithsonian next to the costume, it reminded me so much of in Winter Soldier when Steve has to break into the Smithsonian and steal the costume because he's like, well, I'm not wearing my new one, I'm wearing the old one. Fuck it. Yeah. I really thought, like, at some point in the series, we were going to get Sam breaking into the Smithsonian to take the shields.
Well, I'm pretty sure it was not like he was like, I need to wear my old one, or like, it was, I need to wear it, not I want to wear it, because his other one was like destroyed basically.
I mean, I feel like there was some level if he wanted to. He could have done it in like jeans and a t-shirt.
Maybe. It also felt like he was a little bit embarrassed by it, but
he just wanted to make Stan Lee get in trouble.
So yeah, you just remind me we're not gonna get a Stan Lee cameo in this. Like, we didn't get one in WandaVision and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that. Oh man.
Oh, one last thing actually. This isn't a crazy thing to say, but just it is interesting that this whole like episode, presumably the whole series, is going to be shot like in the same aspect ratio as a movie.
Yeah.
Whereas, WandaVision, changed it up very much because it was, doing a TV thing. But I was expecting this to be more like, 16:9. Like, it takes up the whole thing. Whereas they seem to be going for more of a, like, this is, this is all as in keeping with the MCU movies as possible.
Yeah. I like it aesthetically so much because we watch everything with subtitles, and it's nice to have subtitles on their own little, like, black thing on the bottom that's not, like, over top of the visuals. I always like that. Especially because we always watch it with the chunky subtitles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, lighting in this, by the way, so good. So excellent lighting. Gotta mention that every time. Like, it's such a huge problem in Hollywood, especially of like, lighting with black characters and everything like that, because half fucking crews are white and they don't know what the fuck they're doing. So I always gotta mention it every fucking time, where it's just like, they got people who know what the fuck they're doing with the lighting, and I always appreciate that shit.
I'm very glad. Yeah, didn't even think about it. I'm glad I didn't even have to think about it until you brought it up. Black Panther was like the only movie that was lit in a way where, black people look good every single time.
Except for, like, the train fight, but the train fight had its own problems with, like, that was such a rushed thing, and, like, that was a whole separate issue. Like, that had nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
But I know people are going to mention that, so I want to preface that.
There's no amount of specificity that is too much. We are in the comic book world once more.
Oh, yeah. Once again, I'm so fucking happy to be watching this again. Like, I'm glad I could do this. I have my pain is different every single goddamn day, so I don't know when I'm going to be able to watch the next one, but it's been 2 goddamn months since I last watched WandaVision, because we watched it all before we released any of it. And then, like, this all started happening right after that. So,
yeah.
Man, it's been 2 months of no MCU, and I've been fucking missing it.
Well, we got a lot to go through, like, whenever you're up for it, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Let's be back into it.
Okay, we will see you guys for the next one. Until then, get the fuck out of here.